Okay, so good to have you guys. In today's lesson, we're going to look at something that is really important, what we call if statements. So if statements are part of what we call conditionals. All right, so what is a conditional? A conditional is something that is dependent on something. I'll give an example. Let's say tomorrow's match will be cancelled if it rains. So the match is more dependent on the rain, whether it's going to rain or not, right? So that is a conditional. So in Python or in programming, we have what we call if statements. These are conditional statements, right? And so in our previous lesson, we looked at what we call booleans. And so what do booleans have to do with conditional statements? Okay, so booleans are a part of conditional statements, right? So let me try and clarify what I'm saying by putting down a construct of the if statement. So the if statement is made of the if keyword and then some condition. This condition is going to be a boolean, right? So this condition will give us a true or false, and then followed by a colon, and then some statements here. So this is what makes up an if statement, a conditional statement. Okay, so let me give an instance or an example. So if let us give a condition. A condition could be, like I said, this condition will give us a boolean value, a true or a false. So right now I'm going to hard code the true here, and then the statement. So if something is true, what do we want to do? We want to make a decision, like we want to print it's true like this, right? If I'm to run this code down here, you will see that the interpreter prints out is true, right? When this code is run, it prints out is true. How about if this condition was false, right? So run this, you see nothing is printed. So this statement depends on this condition. Okay, so that's how important conditionals are, because they kind of make decisions for us. They help computers to make decisions. So this statement depends on this condition. All right, so we learned in our previous lesson that we can create these conditions that can give us a boolean value. So let's say 10 is greater than 5. What will you get from this one? Is 10 greater than 5? This is true. So for as long as this condition is true, this statement is going to be printed out. We can have multiple statements, like I can have a number of statements here. So we can say is true, is correct, is okay, it's all right. So I can have multiple statements here, down here. And if I run this, for as long as this condition is met, all these statements will be executed. As you guys can see down here, it says it's true, it's correct, it's okay, it's all right. If condition and then this statement. So I want to talk about the syntax that we're using here. So in Python, the syntax that we use is different from other programming languages. We use the if statement, and then we have the condition, as you guys can see. So the condition is something that gives us a boolean value, a true or false. And then we have this important part. This is the colon. You don't need to, to omit this. If I forget to put this colon, if I try and run this obviously will give me a syntax error, because Python notices that there's something missing. So I have to put that colon. And then down here, I have to indent these lines of code. Let's say I did not indent this part. Let's check it out and see what happens. As you guys would see, there's, indentation error. So Python recognized that there is a statement that is not indented. So I have to indent. Okay, so leave some space from the margin. The recommended spacing from the margin is 4 spaces. Okay, 4 spaces. So this is what you have to do. If I save this and try and run this, now you see it's running. Okay, so this is what we call the if statement, the construct of the if statement. Okay, so back to our if statements. The construct is here. So let's check it out. Let's check this out. What part of an if statement should be indented? Is it all of it? No, obviously it's not all of it. So if you come back to our if statement, is it all that is indented? This part is not indented, so it's the statement within the if statement. So the statement within it, right here. Check it out. Boom, that's the correct answer. Let's continue. All right, so now I want to demonstrate the if statement at work. Let me try and clear all this so that we start again. So let's say I have a variable called age, and then I assign it a value of 10. So now we want to check if somebody can be allowed into a place or not. Let's say this place says only people who are over 18 are allowed. So it's 18 and above are allowed in this place. So I could say if age is greater than or equal, obviously 18, print you are allowed, you can get in. All right, so this person, if they were 18 or above, they will get in. So let's check it out now. Because this condition is not met, so they are not allowed to get in. All right, but let's say their age was 18. 18 is greater than is greater than or equal to 18. Yeah, let's see. Right now you can get in. So if you're 18, if you're 19, you can still get in. You can get in. Okay, so that's how we put this into practice. So let's continue this. So what's the output of this code? Span 7. If span is greater than 5, print 5. If span is greater than 8, print 8. So is 7 greater than 5? This is true, but this is false, so 5 is going to be printed. Check it out. That's the correct answer. Right, the next part that we're going to look at is nesting of if statements. So right now, we're just using one if statement, right? So right here, I have if age is greater than or equal to 18, right? Right now, the age is greater than or equal to 18. So I can nest with another if statement to check for another condition. So let's say if this age is less than or equal to 30, we can then print something else. We can then print your age is between 18 and 30. And 30, isn't it? So we need to look out for these conditions. So right now, both of these conditions are being met. The age is obviously 19 is between 18 and 30, right? Because if age is greater than or equal to 18, 19 is greater than, this condition is met. So this line is going to be executed. So when this line is executed, is age less than or equal to 30, 19 is less than 30. So this line obviously will be executed. So this is how it works, right? So indentation is really important. So you need to check out for indentation. For instance, this if statement is indented, so it means this part is inside this if statement and this is inside this if statement. So you can just look at how this code is indented. That's what is important. All right, so let's check out this last part. What's the output of this code? Num is equals to 7, and then if num is greater than 3, is 7 greater than 3? Yes, print 3 is going to be printed. If num is less than 5, so is 7 less than 5? No, of course. So this part from here going down is not going to be executed. So the only thing that we're going to see is the 3 on the screen. So check it out. Boom, that's the answer. All right, so in our next lesson, we're going to look at else statements. For today, we are done. I'll see you in our next lesson. Bye-bye.